Full screen is up. Stream has started. Waiting for the stream to kick in. There we go. All right. Wow. That's an amazing day. Today, we're doing a recap real quick. Hopefully we'll get this little chopped up and edited a little bit. And I just realized that the video for Yunski's head is not set properly. So I'm going to go ahead and adjust the size of his forehead to fit the screen because...
Yeah, to put my head in front of the light, otherwise it's like that.
Yeah.
So I've moved slightly.
Yeah, and we're just gonna move that slightly, different positions. That's good enough. Not really centered, not really. We're gonna have to fix these camera things somehow, get you a better camera or something, man.
I literally typed in stream onto YouTube to try and find the stream. That's the kind of day it's been for me.
I can tell. Why don't we make sure that our audio is working?
To try and find the stream. That's the kind of day it's been for me. So,
I can tell. Why don't we make sure that our audio?
Okay, now you're really quiet. Find the stream. My audio seems okay, but you're. That's the kind of day it's been for me. So,
I can tell. Why don't we make sure that our audio?
Okay, now you're really quiet. Find the stream. My audio seems okay, but you're. That's the kind of day.
Okay, so I'm getting an echo delay, so I paused it for a second. I'm gonna let it reset, and then I'm gonna check it again.
Okay, but you're. That's the kind of day.
Okay, so I'm getting an echo delay, so I paused it for a second. I'm gonna let it reset, and then I'm gonna check it again. Go ahead and talk for me.
Okay, but you're. That's the kind of day.
Okay, so I'm getting an echo delay, so hey, so I can't hear you at all now. Did you mute yourself?
Whoops, sorry, I muted. Sorry, yes, I'm back.
Okay.
Testing. Can you hear me? Hello, hello. This is normal.
I can hear you. Okay, we're gonna talk on top of each other real quick just to see what's happening.
Whoops, sorry, I muted. Sorry, yes, I'm back.
Okay.
Testing.
I have no idea. Okay, yours is a lot louder than mine is. For some reason, I have no idea. So let's see if I can turn this up. Just turn this up. Check. I don't know why it keeps on adjusting itself every day. It's very annoying, but whatever. We'll figure it out eventually, guys. Okay. Now that we have 3 people watching this act like imbeciles and not able to check on the audio properly in some other configuration, aka Zach, let's go ahead and get started on this. So today, super cool. I mean, we had a amazing run today on APOP. I greatly, you can see my mess in the back that I'm working on some other projects right now, but I located this a little bit early this morning, and the reason I did that is because I was hoping that it was going to do something, and most of the times my trades have hope built around them. So thankfully, the hope worked, and I got to use my shares. So we saw this immediate push out of here, out of the gates. I sold my long too early on it, and then it went a little bit higher. As it climbed a little bit higher, I entered in the short, and I was too soon. So I got stopped out pretty quickly on that because I pulled type stops looking for 750. It wasn't touching 750, came back down, stopped at 715, came back down, and I went full size at 660, and I wrote it down all the way down to a little bit here, and then took some off the table right before, right before noon, I would say. So right around this time frame. So like $5 or something. Pretty good trade, pretty decent trade for me. I was watching this since early pre-market to watch most of this move. You guys can watch the stream back to see what I was watching on it. And I traded it. I liked it. I thought it did well. I thought it could have bounced higher and should have bounced higher. There's obviously somebody else selling shares or a bigger short up there that hit it first. And that caused the whole panic mistake. So then it came down, and it couldn't break this bottom support. So I'm happy where I sold out at. My initial target was 467, but it wasn't making that. So I was happy to cut anywhere close to that number. So obviously I cut a little bit above it. But Yunsky, what do you think about this one?
Yeah, so I mean, this one kind of pains me a little bit to talk about. For those watching the stream this morning, they would know, and for those in the Discord chat, you would see exactly why. But yeah, so I walked into this trade with a very specific plan because it was kind of forming a pattern that I recognized. Without going into too much detail, I essentially would have top ticked this one. Now, we did say in the Discord chat to be careful and be patient. And even myself, I said where I would enter, and I did emphasize that it was going to be a risky enter because of three reasons. One, it was kind of it's not the main gapper, but the one of the top gappers which had the most attention on it. So in terms of volume comparative to the price point. So with it being quite a cold, it was a cold market this morning for sure, right?
Very much
So yeah, so there was a risk that a lot of traders like us or whoever are going to be looking at APOP because there's nothing else moving. So that was one kind of risky factor. Two, the float was low. And three, the volume was pretty high for the float. I think it was rotating the float every 2 minutes, 1.5 minutes or something.
Mm-hmm.
So these are generally pretty scary factors. So, I mean, as with anything, there's risk. So my plan could have easily failed. But unfortunately, I had issues trying to locate shares. I tried to locate quite some time. I think I mentioned several times in the Discord chat that I was trying to locate. I couldn't locate, and then I missed my opportunity. So, one side of me is gutted that I missed a good opportunity because this was probably going to be my cleanest trade of this month, actually.
Wow.
But the other side is, it's not the end of the world. I'll get opportunities like this again. And it also re-emphasizes the data I have on these kind of movements. Mm-hmm. So I can trust my data more, even though there are those factors that I mentioned, which cause it to be risky. That was a low float, sort of the main gapper with most attention on it, and high volume, which generally in a lot of cases is for sure enough of factors to be very wary about. This could have easily pushed up towards 10, which is what Ben was thinking.
Which is what I wanted. I wanted to get that range.
Yeah, but I wanted to kind of test my pattern, see whether my pattern would still work.
Given the factors that weren't ideal.
Exactly. And you know what? Next time it might not work. But I know now that there are, I can sometimes ignore those factors and, just focus purely on the maths and the data. So, which is essentially what I want to aim to do anyway, because if I can remove all emotion and think, right, as soon as it hits this marker, click, hits this marker, click, I'm done. That's the ideal way to trade for me.
Ideal way to trade is only by numbers, not by anything else. I don't need to see the charts. I just these are my numbers. If it does this, then I will make money.
Yeah, I mean, anyone who's been in a trade, especially taking a loss, and you're seeing that red number go up and up and up, you know what it means, how it can really impact you when you're emotional. So that's what I meant by it. Obviously we do trade with emotion anyway, but it's good to know that I can trust my data a little bit more.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Overall, I think it was good to be hesitant on it and not locate too early. I didn't locate until like about 15 minutes before the bell because I was waiting. And then when I started seeing the strength show up, it's like, okay, this is going to do something at the bell. If this keeps going, at least we have a little bit of range now on it. And it just kept pushing. So that's the only reason why I located a little bit early. Typically, in something like this, I'll locate after the bell. I'll locate something a little bit earlier. Very nice, David. You bottom ticket and wrote it up. Very nice.
Nice job.
Next one I want to talk about real quick is IMMP. IMMP I traded today, and I got this when it was up here. It wasn't the best trade. I ended up, I think, losing money on the overall thing, but I made back most of my losses on the ride down. I didn't wait to this ride. I only took this first ride down, but I faked out and got faked out here at the beginning. what had happened, it had bursted up past a VWAP, which is what we like to see. Then it comes down and then it goes back up for consolidation. It's like, okay, this is cool. Well, then it spikes up again, which is very weird. Like things don't usually do that. And then it fakes out again and comes back down. And this is all like, what? It's almost like somebody was constantly full sizing, covering way too quickly back and forth, and not realizing that the stock could only move like 30 cents. So it was very strange. I hadn't even built a full position yet by the time that had happened. And then finally, on the last time when it confirmed testing of the VWAP, I full sized in and I rode the thing the rest of the way down. I guess the only thing I could have been done a little bit different on this is wait for my secondary time frame to manifest. I didn't pay too much attention to the time frame. I was really focused on the actual chart here, and this is when I usually mess up. Most of my things have to relate to dollars and time. Pattern movements don't really matter to me. Float and certain things at this hour doesn't matter to me. It's to me it's all relatable to the psychology of a trader. A trader that's been in this now for an hour and a half and has lost money is not wanting to come back. So typically they will walk away once they lose enough money. So that's what happened. And basically I botched my first entry and I just got the rest of the second one. The next one I want to talk about real quick is PRQR. PRQR, it was a solid day pusher. It just pushed up and then it pushed and now it's grinding and grinding and grinding and grinding and grinding and grinding. I took a couple trades on this one. I won one, lost two in my fourth one right now, and it looks like I'm about to pull a stop loss on it too. It's just another one of these trades, man. That it's a game. It's a game to market makers, and the whole purpose on this is to take everybody's money long and short. You can see on the 5-minute candles how it's just drastically out of nowhere this volume will show up, and then the same thing in the inverse, the volume will just pop it down. And then it just constantly holds its levels and slowly just grinds sideways. If you look, it's only really gone sideways like $1.50. So it's meant, and if you look at this 10-second, you can tell by what's a game to them because it's way too sporadic. Like it's way too movie. Does that make sense? Like it's meant to trip you up. It's meant to confuse you, and it's meant to literally just scare traders into doing something. Most of the trades that you'll see won't have this. It's just random movements. It'll kind of go to the side a little bit without too much of a swing. For example, like. When you zoom it and you look at the sense-wise, it's not huge. It's not this big ideal. Like this is a big candle here. This is like 10, 15 cents. So when you're sitting over here looking at PRQR and you're seeing 15, 20 cents in a single da-da, it's like all you're doing is just trying to scare people. And that's when you have to breathe and really just be like, okay, what's it doing? What's it going to be set up to do? Is it going to set up to fail? Is it going to set up to burst again? Where's your entry point? Where's your exit point? Where's your stop loss? And it's meant to try to trap you. So the whole thing has to be in your mindset. You have to really get focused that this is my entry point, regardless of what the stock does. This is my exit point, regardless of what the stock does. This is my stop loss, regardless of what the stock does. The more you can focus on that, the less panicky you will be in situations, and you'll just pull your stop. Like I'll pull my stop here in a second, and I won't care because I planned my last trade. And I'll plan it again, and I'll plan to lose again. It doesn't matter. Usually I don't short after afternoon, but I was anticipating this one to follow up with what this market maker's been doing and dumping the shares. The news on this one was absolute garbage. Absolute garbage. They should be ashamed of themselves. Like literally, this company should be investigated by the SEC. Like it's trailing at $5-6, and they receive a $30 price target, a buy analysis for $33 to $44, a buy rating. Like that's insanity. So I think that a lot of these things are just manipulation in games meant to trick people and to get them stuck and to make them forget their patterns. So this is just another one of those things. This one will probably be trashed tomorrow. This probably won't be anything. There is no real news on it other than somebody issued a buy order, some securities company that gives false hope that they're going to buy it at $20, $30. So I think they'll probably do an offering, or they'll probably flash drop the stock after hours or something like that. So I was hoping that they would flash drop it during market hours because they've already hit a double top at 38, but it looks like it's just going to be a slow grinder up. So Sometimes you lose and
Yeah,
sometimes you win. So
yeah.
there's my
That
stop.
one's super weird because it was kind of like the LPN. I was just telling Ben off the stream earlier. Like
Hmm.
it flushes right quite a few times actually. If you look at the 1 minute, and you think, okay, it's done, and then it just somehow reclaims and reclaims. And look at now, it's almost
It's almost back to
um,
its high again.
end of yeah end of day, and it's curling up. I mean,
Hmm.
that's something you don't really want to stick around for.
No, but
You
as
know,
soon as I
something.
cover my stop, it drops 30 cents. This is the part
Yeah, I
that I
know.
was telling you about for the games. You guys can't even get FOMO on it. You just follow your plan, and if your stop gets pulled, that's just part of the game. It's like, okay, well, that's a game to them. The market maker has literally just dropped 500,000 shares. There it goes again, dropping down 50 cents. So it's nothing to be FOMOed about. It's just part of what's happening. So that's all I really got for y'all. Just don't be mad or even afraid when your stock goes against you and you lose money. Just plan your trade, man, and just dump it if you have to dump it. That's all. That's all that really matters. I just sold
Yeah,
Roblox, all my Roblox.
all of it.
Yep.
Why all of it?
Look at the last 5 minutes of the day.
Yeah, I'm not afraid.
I know, but I always buy it back when it's back down lower. I'll take my profits from it and buy it back again.
Sure.
But anyways, guys,
Cool. Should
look,
we?
check
Yeah.
this out. See how I said don't be afraid, because the FOMO sold down, and now it's back up to right where it was. This is what happens. This is what happens when you're caught in these. So this is my main watch for tomorrow. PRQR, main watch for tomorrow. It's got 60 something percent institutionally owned on like I think it's like a 40 mil float. So this is all institutions playing with each other. That's all it is. It's okay. Tomorrow they'll be done. They won't come back to it because there'll be something else, and you'll just be able to take all the people's money to the bag holders. Happens like that. So if you got no other questions, I'm gonna check out. I got some other stuff I gotta do, and I will be back tomorrow morning. Y'all have a good night. Thank you for the one
Yeah, you
like.
too.
Whoever dropped the one like, and